I'm going to use this to explain something. There are some believers that they are now believers. They love Christ. But their umbilical cord is still tied to their foundation. The mother in this context can symbolize the foundation. And yet they are walking around, but the umbilical cord is not yet caught. That means that even though they have life, the old foundation is still feeding them. And with that umbilical cord, they can't go far. So even though they can breathe, there is still life coming from somewhere else. He said, on the day you were born, your cord was not caught. Nor were you washed with water to make you clean. Nor were you rubbed with salt or wrapped in clothes. Next verse, please. No one looked on you with pity and had passion enough to do any of these things for you. Rather, you were thrown out in the open field. For one day you were born. For on the day you were born, you were despised. Next verse. Then I passed by and saw you kicking about in your blood. And as you lay there in your blood, I said to you, leave. And then he began to do the surgery. So there are so many Christians that they are still connected to the umbilical cord of their foundation. And there are some Christians that are not connected anymore. They have broken that. And I'm going to show you how you can be able to identify it. You look at patterns. That's why in your family you must study patterns. I am one of the person that studied patterns, and I saw death in my family. I saw that people were dying. 2.5 years, people would die. Tops 3 years, someone must fall. And when my mother died, I said, there is something here. And when I asked, I found out that many people in the family are aware that there was a pattern of death. They said, yes, we know. It's every 2 years. 2.5 years, someone died. We know. So it was not new. And what have we done? They said, no, they have done prayers. They have gone. Some people that believe in God are praying. Some that believe in the traditional way, they are going to bring idols. And they are making sacrifices. If an even can ever. Then after my mom died, I found that. I said, nah, I will stand. And now we are getting to 7 years and nobody has died. So when we talk about that, it's to the glory of God. If we talk about causes, we know they exist. Some of you in your family, in your father's house, everybody there, they will marry the first wife, divorce the first wife, and marry the second wife. It has happened to 3 to 4 persons. Don't just study only your direct family. No. Check from the source where the brothers and the sisters were coming from. Check the patterns. And you will be unwise if everybody dies and you don't know those patterns. You will fight battles without knowing where to fight. You will engage in warfare without being prepared for it. And you find out what gives open door to it. It's a pattern. Some people in their family, back then, when they want to marry, in the old time, one of the things they will check in the family is longevity. They will ask, say, this, first of all, they check whether if the woman has height. My father told me. He said they will check if the woman has height. If she has height, because they are also trying to correct their gene to have height. Then they will say, okay, the elders will ask, in the family, does people live long? If you're a woman and you came from a family where people don't live long, they will not marry you. How many of you are aware of this tradition? Yes, we don't know. They will not marry you. So because of that, when people begin to die young, the family is worried. They will start going to trace what is causing it. Because if they don't, nobody will marry the women in the family. I know now, Lord, you don't care. Oh, Lord, I'm blind. If you don't be hard, die. Yeah, no worries, fine. There is Christ. If not, some of you now, no matter how you pray, say, end the man now, I'm going to 50 years. I am Ranga. But that was what was happening. Then that time, if they want to marry, they will say, they're going to talk to your... if you want to marry a woman, they will look at the father and the mother. They will ask people around that family, how is this people's marriage? They say, they fight. The family will not come to that family. They say, how are they treating their other in-laws? They say, the other one, they will never come. They will think, there are things they will ask. I know now they don't do those things again. They say, family go, but then they trace it. So even the fathers of the old, our fathers, our ancestors were aware of this, about patterns. Then we came to our own generation and we don't care about patterns. And now I'm not saying that if you want to marry a woman, you should go and say, people, how long? No. There is a pattern you must study. And intentionally, before you even marry, break some of those patterns. There's some family, their wives, their women don't stay in the home. Like more than 3 persons have been divorced in the family. You are busy saying, I'm different. Shut up. Fine, I know you are different, but shut up first. Find what leads to that pattern and break it. In such cases, there are some laws you have to apply. Even when you are wrong in a quarrel in the family, you say you are sorry. Because there is a pattern you are trying to break. The man in question might not even know there is a pattern in your family. Only you know. I'm telling some old things here. Notice children, they were always born out of wedlock. 70% of them always give birth out of wedlock. Have you studied that? So how do you explain that? It's a pattern. And their children that they will give birth to will most likely. So when you find out that this is how this thing happened, now I'm not saying that the children that were born out of wedlock are bad. They are very good children. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying there is a pattern that follows. So you know that this pattern is there, you must stay and prevent that pattern from finding expression in your life. You find out that your great-grandfather, a striker, he moves from different women to different women. Look at your father. If you find the trace of moving, there's nothing like, no, we men, we are, how do they say it? Is it polygamous in nature? Polygamous, are women are mono? Okay. Polygamous in nature. Use that thing to give access to the devil. You don't know. It's a sign that you don't have control over yourself. It's a sign. You say, for example, now, will I be eating only egusi? How is your woman equivalent to a soup? That's how you went out and ate anger. Went out and ate disappointment. Went out and ate delay. Come to your family, wahala too much. Come pack the delay, the anger and everything, give to your wife as treasure. She the whole lamb. You go, they carry more, they give to her. Because a woman is a harnesser. You give her, she harness her for you. Your wife that doesn't have anger issues, just start having anger issues. You don't know where you went to pick it and give it to her. You went and picked spirits.